Okay.
Technique to get her record to go viral. You can follow this.
Alpine all in the same group. Poor Alpine. Like,
yeah, no,
it's not going to get any
Scuba
easier.
Squad. Yeah. Imagine being Scuba Squad and being like, "Excuse me, what is
We
happening?"
made a regional, and then you see your group, and you're like, "Oh." Okay.
Yeah, no, I just want to. You commented on Envy not dropping a game. I think the fact that the FaZe Clan's only dropped one game in this group is incredible right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is honestly, I'm just looking at that group A still because of that group of death here. You know, I asked about that slippage, if there's any teams that maybe could, and the answer from Wave was anything can happen. But Achieves, I want to get your thoughts too here. You know, is this a sign for FaZe Clan that they get put into a group like this and they can still kind of have that perseverance to show a good early first day?
Well, here's the thing. They still have yet to play Space Station and Rogue.
Yeah, I was skipping
those
that
are
up.
the two people they haven't played in that group. So, is it a sign? Yeah, maybe, but
Yeah, Space Station played Rogue. That's why Rogue has one loss. One of those teams had to lose there at that point.
Yeah.
So, a lot to play for top two there.
Well, I guess the better question then, before we move to the next group here, is do we feel, Gibbs, that Space Station is maybe stepping back up to the plate here? Because it has been a bit of a rough go recently.
I hope so, because Space Station, for the longest time, they're like, oh, we're playing really well. And then all of a sudden, they just bomb out of the tournament. So, hopefully, they play well for 4 days in a row this time around.
That's true. Let's take a look now at groups B and C here. There's more teams. That's right. There's a lot more Rocket League to come your way here. And, you know, I feel like there's a bit of a group of death, not as much as A here, but that group C also felt a little bit tough for some of these teams to choose. Yeah,
Group C is definitely the one to keep your eye out. One, because obviously, you know, G2 playing with Drees, and they've been looking pretty good. 2-0 and NRG 2-0, but Ghost Gaming and RBG, two teams, along with Pittsburgh Knights. I mean, they had a bit of a rough go of it. 0-3, of course. But there's not really an easy game anywhere in that group.
Yeah, no, they went 0-3, but they also got at least a win in every single one of their series. One of those going to Game 5. Group B though is an interesting story. Stromboli up on top right now at 3-0 over KCP at the moment. Too. I don't actually know if they've played KCP yet. I didn't look.
They did.
At the Group B.
They did. Yeah.
Wow.
Beat them.
Their last match was
they're
against Charlotte
good.
Phoenix.
Well, yeah, they look pretty set to maybe finish 4-0. Then that's a crazy group.
Waves like I am now confident in my statement that Stromboli's looking good.
Crazy.
No, and I think it really plays, Gibbs, to that story that again Wave was just touting a moment ago, is that North America really seems to be pulling up that competitiveness
Yeah.
in all these teams. The fact that you're seeing Stromboli step up to the plate like that.
Yeah, like every weekend, it just feels like we get a new team coming out trying to pull off a pop-off performance. The problem is we usually see them for one weekend and then they're gone after. But that's what I like about this system is like we get to see that, but at the end of the day, as long as you're consistent, you'll be fine. You'll be at the top of the points. We see like Energy and Team Envy, bad losses in Regional 1, doesn't matter. They're still top 2 in points or top 3 in points. So they're looking fine. They obviously want more money because why not? But Energy, they've already clinched the World Championship spot. So at this point, they're playing for season.
Chilling.
And they want that money. You know, why not win 30 grand?
And one other team we didn't really talk about there, and the fans would be really mad if we didn't, is G2 sitting up there 2-0 in their group right now. And that brings us to our next topic, because G2, as everyone knows, has been trying out Drees during the grid here, because Rizzo has announced after this split he was done here. And it seems like he's doing well for the team right now. Honesty, they've definitely made a shift. Drees is a mechanical player. He's bringing a lot of that mechanical prowess to the field right now, and I think that's what a lot of teams Gibbs are looking for. So the question is Drees now the real deal for G2? Do they have their answer?
And this is another benefit of this whole tournament because he is 15 years old and 1 month, and that's it. So he couldn't play when we began this back in fall split. And also, by in mind, he was born when I was in college. I just want to point that out. I am old.
You feel old yet,
I
Gibbs?
am very old. You know, go Binghamton Bearcats. But Drees is looking good. A mechanical monster. He's got to figure it out with G2 about how to play on that team. So far, it's looking good in grid. So far, it's looking good in group stage. But they haven't played the top dogs just yet. So we still got to wait and see.
That's true. Sorry.
I think Drees, the thing with Drees is he needs to realize and accept this mantle that there has been this like curse on G2 for so long in Rocket League, and with this roster change happening, that genuinely could be hitting the reset button. If he could bring a completely new energy to this team, we could see this like not game 5, not Gibbs cursing them when he predicts them sort of stuff happening. I believe in Drees.
G2 straight.
He changes the story here, having a new player on the roster. Let's go.
I'm going to do some Gibbs trivia, all right? So there's one team in Europe, really quick, for both Wave and Achieves, that has a winning record versus BDS. Who is that player?
One player?
One player only.
Jesse.
Only.
I'm gonna say Marky Duda.
No. Promo CSX. It's fine. It is Greasy.
I don't believe
now,
it. Okay.
So it's Greasy. Now I'm going to do something real quick here. I'm just going to erase the G.
Is it Dreezy?
Put a D. I'm just saying, I've never seen them in the same room. I can't put this center, but Dreezy, Greasy, who knows? Who knows? I'm not saying that there's any tomfoolery going on. I haven't heard from Greasy on Twitter lately.
Imagine.
Maybe he moved over.
Can you imagine we get to the first LAN and Dreezy walks out? We're like, what? Greasy? What?
Greasy.
It's Greasy.
You're not a 15-year-old kid.
Just saying, winning record versus BDS.
That's phenomenal. But I really do think, I mean, going back to Wave's point here before we move on, is you mentioned that maybe this is the break to the curse, but you have to understand that he's also coming in with those shoes to fill. I mean, you know, Rizzo is a top figurehead in the Rocket League community, and Drees also knows the history of G2 and what that team's been through. So now being the answer, do you not think that maybe that's a lot of weight on the shoulders of this player?
So I don't think there is, because he is so young that it's like, we're just playing for fun. Like, so it's kind of both, right? Because right now they're in a world championship spot. So if they fall out of that, Drees is going to feel a little bit of heat for sure. But at the same time, like all three of them on G2 were like, no, we want Drees. We want him to play. We saw it in grid because we talked to Rizzo and he was like, I might play Regional 2. I'm not sure. But he's obviously not playing because of what they've done in the grid, what Drees has done. So he's already showed that he can hang. Now do it in the regionals. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
That's true, but it is now time for, excuse me, joking apparently. It is now time for your favorite game show. It's Trust or Bust. Cue fancy, we don't have fancy graphic. It's just time for Trust. It's just time for Trust. Yeah, Wave, get the theme song going here. Trust or Bust. We're gonna talk about some teams here. I'm just gonna list them off. I'm gonna see if you guys trust the team or you think they're gonna be a bust overall in this regional, the North American regional number 2, because we've seen a lot of that up and down. We've seen teams beating teams we never would have expected to in the past year. So there's a good chance that some of these teams may bust out that normally you wouldn't expect them to. So coming into this regional, Let's list off a few here. We'll just get thumbs up and thumbs down, up for bust, or up for trust. That's confusing, and down for bust on these teams. So let's just start it off and see what you guys think about them. We're going to start with the big one right now, coming off a regional win from that last Verizon 5G Ultra Cup here. Rogue on our first one. Thumbs up or down? Do we have a trust or bust on Rogue? Are they really in a spot to continue this up in 3, 2, 1? What do we got? All thumbs up. We got a double thumbs up there with Gibbs. You're kind of on the fence. You're kind of on the fence on this one. Why?
So I don't trust them when it comes to day 1 and day 2s. We've seen them before where they're perfectly inconsistent. They're inconsistent when the games don't necessarily matter. They will make it to the next part of the bracket. Then they become gods for day 3 and day 4. So I'm a little worried about group stage, but I know it's not going to matter by the time we get to day 3 and day 4 because then they really show up. So I expect them to make at least a top 4 finish here. But I am always worried about their group stage because it could result in a bad draw for them later on, which could knock them out early.
Okay. It's fair. I don't know then if that is a bust because you said you don't trust.
I still trust them just enough, but I'm
just
worried.
enough.
Fair,
All
it's
right.
fair criticism. It's fair criticism. I think the chances of them actually making it not making it out of the groups is pretty low at this point. Seeing as Scuba Squad's already 0-3, but crazier things have happened.
But a bad draw could definitely happen for them.
True. But speaking of crazy things, Stromboli right now, we got to talk about them because is this an uprise or is this something that is inevitably going to bust? So let's get our thumbs up and down in 3, 2, 1. Do we have a trust or do we have a bust? That is triple bust. Okay, Wave, break it down to me. Why the bust on Stromboli?
Yo, have you seen this Group B? Like, come on, where's the teams? I don't understand. Like, KCP is already 1-1 in that group. Version 1 is 1-1 in that group. Stromboli's having a good day, but the moment we get out of this group stage, I'm very worried about this team. Prove me wrong, Stromboli, but I'm not believing just yet.
I think that's fair. I had to make it sound like I could believe, but honestly, you're right. We have to see how they compare against the rest right now. But Stromboli, that'd be great if you could do it. You got to do it, though. Let's talk about another team we just talked about that's looking good in their groups right now that we're hoping can have a good split, a final split here. It's G2. Are they going to be in a good spot now, specifically with Drees looking forward to? Is this a trust or is this a bust for this regional here? 3, 2, 1. G2 on a we got one bust there. Okay, I'm gonna need Wave to talk to me about that too, and see why Chiefs disagrees with him because he trusts.
Okay. Here's the thing. Drees, you gotta break the curse, man, but you still gotta actually break it, okay? I'm trusting you all the way once you break this curse, man, but right now I can't. No, the curse is still there. I can't yet. I just can't.
Wave
yet.
just wants to see it.
I just want to see it. Yeah, I'll see it in front of me.
That's right, but you trust them, Chiefs.
Yeah, I think that I think picking up Drees is a good move in the long-term game. I think Wave is right to be skeptical in the short term. Perhaps maybe this regional doesn't go the way they want it, but they've already started off pretty strong, 2-0 in their first couple of matches. They play Pittsburgh Knights and NRG today, so I think maybe even if they lose to NRG, I think they knock off PK and they go into the playoffs, right? So
yeah,
I'm feeling pretty good about G2 making it towards the end. I just don't know how far they go.
Listen, if we all predicted trust, then
they
the
wouldn't
curse
work, right?
would mean that they would bust. So I'm just doing my part to help break the curse, okay?
Good job, Wave.
Smart.
That is fair. That's fair. 2 more teams before we move on here. I'm going to go on to FaZe right now. We just saw that big, huge pickup recently. That's got to be motivation for them. They're looking stronger than they ever have. FaZe, do we have this as a trust or bust right now? 3, 2, and 1. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We got only one.
We flip-flopped. Oh, dear.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to do it this other way here. I'm going to make Wave make his case, and Gibbs, you're going to have to tell him why he's wrong.
Okay.
Look, they're on top of the group of death right now. They had a great first regional after getting picked up by FaZe. Mid-regional, by the way. That was nice and mind-blowing there. Yeah, they struggled a little bit against Sonics. Yeah, they got beat by Rogue, who won the whole thing. I'm not worried about FaZe right now. I think they're going to have a good event.
They're 2-0 in the group of death with none of the group of death teams. They played Alpine, who, I mean, it's Alpine. Lately, they've looked terrible. No offense to you, but come on. It's Alpine right now. And then Scuba Squad. Their name is Scuba Squad. Let's be real here. They're still
already diving, man.
Top dogs at this point. FaZe when they look into the grid, they're 4-8. They had some tough losses that were very close games, but you got to clutch it up when it matters. Right now, every single match will matter for them because the points are so close for 4, 5, and 6, or 5, 6, and 7. So I'm a little worried about them because I think right now I might have them on the outside looking in between those 3 teams.
They drop one game against the bottom 2 teams in their group, and you're like, I don't know, because I haven't watched them play. I don't know. I think FaZe is looking okay right now.
All right, we'll say I do like to get audience's opinion as well. So remember, we have Twitter out there at RL Esports #RLCS. You can type your thoughts out there, make a whole thread if you disagree with any